Welcome. These are selected works of poems and free verse by Russ Riendeau to inspire and reignite your curiosity. Just for one day. Just for one day, I would like to touch the wings of a condor and sleep in the cliff caves of Mesa Verde. I would like to sit cross-legged on the floor in the orchestra pit of Hamilton. I would like to hold hands with my lover, 1,000 fathoms below the surface. I'd like to look out over the Ark's bow when she came ashore, to stand barefoot on Everest just to feel the closeness of the sun. Just for one day, I would like to have seen them roll away the stone of the tomb, to be a capsule traveling through the human body. I'd like to take a narwhal to lunch at a bistro in Lisbon. I would like to be in the room when it happened in 1776. To visit an eagle's nest to witness their view, or to dance the tango in the eye of a hurricane. I would like to actually follow the rabbit down the hole. I would like to ask Edgar Allan Poe about his approach and travel back in time to see the dinosaurs, to experience the strength of a whale, or to simply be the left thumb of Michelangelo. Just for one day, I would like to hear how Mozart saw the music. I would love to bring a flashlight to a black hole, or do a backflip in my driveway. I'd like to experience supersonic flight and see through an eagle's eyes. I would love to be that wave at Big Sur. I'd like to ride a satellite to Mars and hear what a bat hears. Just for one day, I would like to run with a cheetah. I'd like to sit still for 2 hours. And just for one day, I would like to nap on a cloud and then golf with God. Somewhere past Gum Creek, and there I stood on the summit, a frozen statue above most places on earth. Minus 2 fingers, the sun barely penetrating my flesh while searing my retinas. Nearly all the world danced below my mangled and blackening feet. Yet in all this brutal, bludgeoning, beautiful danger, suddenly, it hit me. I forgot to pick up my dry cleaning last Tuesday. How sad I was that I had already begun my descent to the routine. And I danced from peak to peak, wonderment of what worlds lie behind the next vista. And somewhere past Gum Creek, brilliant surges of cobalt blue, neon pink shadows, abstracts on walls of stone. Dinosaur bone reliefs come alive, ancient stories of fire and asteroids. Water clear as the cosmos shattered silence, farther and farther on sacred stones below. Caves carved in cliffs, like studio apartments on a tawny street, seemed contemporary, architectural-like. And turning east, our ascent revealed a majestic front door of skyscape. Time stood still for millions of years, just waiting for me to catch such a glimpse. And had I the courage to walk blind, with both feet, I would have gladly climbed through the night just to see where God parks darkness and how he reignites the sun. And while the canyons scream with crimson, yellow beams dart into crevices deep and jagged, and gold shards of light and history, collected in jars and pottery unseen, angled perfectly towards the sun. The presence of her. If you look hard enough, you can see her in me. When the world challenges my beliefs and unjusts, you can hear her in me. Times that patience and empathy require more space, you can sense her in me. Evidence of time and study of the palate, etiquette of care. My heart will hold less judgment. If you watch close enough, you can see her influence in me, in my gaze, in my step, in the dance. I am putty in her hands. My spirit chants a song of celebration, gratitude. You can see the changes in me over the years, over the decades, a change that has done me good. You can sense her presence in me when I speak, when I listen, when I cook. If you think long enough, you will sense her hand in the making of this man. Such is her way to adjust me without my slightest knowledge, seamless effort. If you have seen less of me in these days, you will know that I am in good hands, hands that know limitations, yet don't fix boundaries. And I apologize if I lapse in reaching out to you more frequently. If you see me less in these days ahead, you will know that I am in still good hands with her. And if one day you don't see me again, you will know that I am in a different place, and that the place that I was in, that I once occupied, and that place will have been when I was in the presence of her. Dialogue with a Preacher Crow. Note to the listener, this is a rare invented species of American black crow that has a narrow white band of feathers near its neckline. This white band or collar resembles a reverend or a priest collar, and given the crow's habit of perching on balcony railings and porches, the Preacher Crow was an easy name. And so the Preacher Crow is standing atop a picketed railing and lets out a shrill caw, caw, echoing the length of a tree-lined street. A woman walking by stopped and stared up at the crow. "Why do you caw so loudly on such a quiet street, Preacher Crow?" she asked. "It is the nature of my species to announce what I see. It is your perception to the loudness and announcement and the quietness of your street," the crow replied. "Well, well, if you can speak, why not speak rather than caw?" she questioned. "Speaking involves reflection, empathy, judgment. None of these traits are in my possession," said the crow. "Then why do you call yourself a Preacher Crow? Surely you must have a message," the woman goading the crow. "I am merely a crow. It is your species that labeled me a preacher. Perhaps you're worried that a message has already been delivered?" the crow suggested. "Worried? What could I be possibly worried about?" said the woman. "Well, you are talking to a crow. Now that should worry you for a while." And the crow summed it all up as he lifted off the railing into a brilliant sky. To enter the forest, into the forest, to where the canopy consumes the sun, fallen leaves, a trampoline over fallen limbs. Underfoot, the soil alive, teeming with creatures indescribable, wretched in appearance, repugnant to human eyes, yet a glorious structure to wanting mates waiting patiently for their courtship. Defiant in holding their ground, creatures crafted by their creator to survive, thrive below this deck? I have trespassed upon their world, caused chasms that will take days for them to cross and redecorate their abodes. And for this, I apologize for my intrusion. Creeks twist and turn like blood vessels through anatomy. We trace the source and the endpoint of the stream, only to disappoint ourselves. It is a closed loop. The end a mere wish, an undiscovery. Tree branches, proportioned in harmony with her trunk, subtly move and turn to the dance of the forest music. Wind and rain, groundswell, rocks crack and sliver ever so quietly, discreetly messaging the roots and foliage to recalibrate harmony or to hold on. A storm is coming. Birds flutter and fleet through the forest. Many species, while free to soar beyond the confinements and heads of the deciduous trees and thick conifers, choose to remain below the hard deck, content with the bounty of the forest over the bright sky of freedom. And deeper into the forest I travel, paths narrow, then vanish below my feet, and colors deepen and darken. The palette range constricts, reducing yellows and reds and oranges to deeper tones of rust and brown and purple. Deeper still, in the forest I travel, not by conscious choice, but by mere atmosphere. Senses alert, rich humus of earth in decay, fertile loam permeates my nose, air thick with dew encompasses my body. Such aura of the forest, incessant peace and balance of nature. Dirt and Stone, the archaeologist. You will find my fingers buried deep in dirt and stone, if not here, then below the water, fathoms below. And if not there, on a mountainside, lost in the clouds, I can hear the spirits calling me when the sun goes down. Every stone tells a story, every bone speaks clear. When ancient runes and myth collide, as they meet, history lies beneath our feet. Sifting through layers and clues of people lost in time, and writers go on to paint the stories to ease our minds. Lost cities and tales of gold written in blood, and sacred stones placed just right by the gods that capture the sun. And every stone tells a story, and every bone speaks clear. When ancient runes and myth collide, history lies beneath our feet. Waves. Waves green and cobalt crash ashore on cue, taking turns to impress. A polite bow gives way to the next, inviting them to top their performance. How polite waves appear to be. Whitecaps appear suddenly, randomly, like children, like prairie dogs, peeking above the crests, hoping to catch a glimpse into the future. Reminiscent of a rogue cornstalk in 1,000 acres, that one stalk that takes a stand to stand above. A fresh view, a new perspective to their current occupation of space and time. Its only risk, enlightenment. The more I stand in the sand, the more questions arise. Morning sprinkles her glitter across the horizon's waters. Only distant ships' crew gain firsthand to witness the shimmering views, while shoremen wonder if the water is sweet and clear. Are the sparkles sharp or flexible? Are the risks to raise their sails worth the price of the journey? Do waves take turns? Is there a protocol? A hierarchy of wave order? A ritual and cadence only they obey? And if so, and if I knew there was such an order, would I know enough to see it in play? Would I care? Would my eyes discern those patterns, this logic in wave routine? Where do waves go once their performance at shore is complete? I see them vanish before me, a spray of foam and mist, poof. The arc, the crest, the tube, the whitecap dissolves before my eyes into a glorious whoosh. Gone. Come evening, do the stars dip their points in the ocean, swirling to test the temperature? Concentric circles broadcast ripples, evidence of their impossible urge of resisting to touch the water where men yet to travel. All this time, the shore braces for the wave's impact. Sands absorb the steady thrust of energy and force, ever so delicate a balance of velocity, stability. Rocks and plants, trees and walls share the workload of offering the sand a reprieve, quiet encouragement to stay the course. And waves, too, take heart, backing off from their natural affinity to come ashore. Winds soften, tides recede, moons align, ice contains, gravity conforms. Only now the shore can repair themselves and recover, rebuild, gather energy and knowledge to stand again as a sentinel, the first line meeting at water's edge. And as I stand along the shore, I feel both a calm and a danger. The sea's presence and all of her aura give me a sense of space, a sense of place, a sense of wonder. And I feel overwhelmed and overmatched and overpowered by the ocean's ability to take me out with one swoop of a wave, one misstep of judgment in stepping too close. The dangerous current and power will make me vanish into the sea. Yet in all of this, I would rather stand here by the sea, with all the drama and danger, with all the unknown and uncharted. My appetite for risk here is grander than other places in nature's catalog. I am drawn to this place than to the sea's cousins in nature. In the presence of the sea, I can converse with past explorer spirits. I can hear their voices. I can feel their desires to travel beyond. I can gain insight to what deeply they must have known would be their destiny, even their demise. Both worth the price they would pay. But for now, I can only wonder. I can only imagine what lies beyond those places that for now only stars and satellites will visit above. For now, they are my eyes and ears to the new frontier above me, to those ideas that exist where beams of light go to hide, where darkness becomes the new light, to those places beyond the water's deepest caverns, to the galaxies that thrive. I hold hope to exploring in one form or another. And with my feet dug deep in the shore on this night, I will soon retire for the evening, a different person. My spirits renewed, my soul rejuvenated, my gratitude extending beyond my skin and bones. The salt spray tightens my face. I lick my lips and taste what I watch so intensely. And a message to those satellites that are weaving within the stars, chasing galaxies far away. My hand has let go of your leash.